number story started with fear and a lack of support, and it has led me to be there for others.
A number story begins in our childhood with ACEs, adverse childhood experiences.
My number story begins with the separation from my father and the emotional abandonment from my mother, and leads to me being a role model to not only myself, but those around me by becoming the person that wasn't there for me.
ACEs are so common, 2/3 of us have one.
My number story begins with drug abuse and homelessness, and leads to realizing that I can live life by my own standards.
A study found the more ACEs, the more likely we may experience a host of serious health effects, physical and mental, but that doesn't need to be the case. Your ACE number is simply an entry point to your own story. Where it leads is up to you.
My number story begins with years of emotional abuse and leads to peace, clarity, and security in my self-worth.
Take control of where your number story leads at numberstory.org.
You want to feel important.
You want to be part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things.
You want to feel like you belong.
We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it.
We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers.
We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more.
When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it.
We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors.
From the lakeshores of Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota.
The fertile fields of Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa to the wide open plains of North and South Dakota.
We are here for our hometowns.
And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Illinois Army National Guard. Aired by the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Sports Cubicle. Commissioner of the American Association of Professional Baseball, Joshua Schaub.
So our players are not playing to develop to make it to the major leagues. They play for the name on the front of their jersey. They play for each other and they play to win. So the style of baseball is completely different. They're literally trying to get guys out. They're literally trying to move runners over. They're trying to win the game. So I just want to note that difference as well.
The Sports Cubicle, Sunday nights, 9 p.m. on WCPT.
Because facts matter. You are listening to WCPT 820.
Welcome to Choose Views with Richard Chew.
Get ready to dive into a world of insightful conversations and thought-provoking discussions.
As progressives, our job is to have an all-inclusive, full-on assault with all of our players.
A show that focuses on moving our political, social, economic, gender, and cultural conversation forward.
And all of our players means all of our players.
It's Choose Views. And now, here's your host, Richard Chew.
Good Friday morning, progressives, and all the rest of the folks out there. You may not be a progressive. You may be kind of more moderate. Wherever you sit on the spectrum, if you're ready to fight, roll up those sleeves and get in this fight, we want to have you be part of it. Where you fit in, it's where you fit in. But we want to win this fight. Welcome to the March 6, 2026 edition of Choose Views, 773-763-9278. Find my show on Facebook Live, TuneIn Radio, and YouTube. And, of course, email me at richard@WCPT820.com. And follow me on all the socials, from X to Instagram to Spoutable to Facebook to Threads, Substack, LinkedIn, and Blue Sky. Catch all of our shows by subscribing to our WCPT podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon. We're out there. You can't miss us. That's where you can get Choose Views, featured interviews, Joan Esposito, live, local, and progressive, Patty Vasquez driving you home, and it's the Democracy Stupid with Edwin Eisendrath, Out Chicago, and our other great shows and interviews. Catch all of our weekend stuff, family meeting, all that good stuff, guys. Got to check them out. And make your way over to heartlandsignal.com because of the great posts that we have there. It's just too many. It's just so many. You got choices. It's like a smorgasbord. It's a salad bar of great stuff, from Governor Walz pushing back on Republicans, trying to trash talk Somalis, to Senator Duckworth about calling out the Trump administration on this war with Iran. The list goes on. So make your way over there. You can pick and choose. It is like a salad bar. It is. You go in, you're like, well, I don't want that, but I do want some of that. And then I want lots of that. So make your way over to Heartland Signal. And speaking of food, I just said to Henry, this is one of those Friday mornings here. So for those of you, wherever you are in the country, you might be somewhere where the sun is coming up and it's nice and wonderful and, majestic. Or it might be raining. Or it might be, overcast or foggy. But I said to Henry, this is one of those mornings where it's like a big old comfort food breakfast. Mike's here too. Good morning, Mike. One of these big old comfort food breakfasts where you have a triple stack of pancakes. Mike's just rearing his head back. Henry's nodding. Triple stack of pancakes. Your eggs in your favorite way, whether they be scrambled or they over easy, over medium, whatever. Bacon and sausage, because sausage goes better with pancakes. Right? Yes. And some cheese grits and a couple of biscuits as you walk out of the restaurant. So later on, you can put yourself back into the swelters. Put the biscuits in the microwave for 10 seconds. Oh, it's one of those mornings, y'all. Did I get your taste buds livened up? Oh, admittedly, I'm being goofy on this Friday, but thanks to all you guys who hang out with us every Friday and make our shows, every day, I should say, make our shows what they are. And, of course, thanks to our team here. On today's show, our good friend Karen Byrne will be with us in the 6:30 hour, giving us a holler. And LaShawn Ford, who's running for Congress, will be here with me in studio. And then Shawn Harris, who's running for Congress down in Georgia, will be calling in. So we have got, one of those Fridays where we're busy. We've got, great conversations to have with all three of those folks. So there you go. All right, let me keep it moving because we got to stay on track this morning. I talked yesterday about the money that's being spent on this crazy war. It is a war. It is not a targeted effort. It's a war. That's just what it is. And let me run down some more stuff. So yesterday, Mike sent me a couple of little tidbits about the cost over the next 30 days and the next 30 days after that and what we could do with that money rather than, as you guys may have seen, there is this information coming out now, and I've vetted it fairly well, that there is some targeted aircraft that they said that they took out that turned out to be 3D images. Mm-hmm. They said that there was some targeted aircraft that they took out that was, they said now it's coming back that they may actually be 3D images. So we dropped bombs on what they thought were actual planes, fighter jets, and they turned out to be. So anyhow, there turned out to be 3D renderings. That's crazy. Okay. You heard what I said yesterday about the numbers, and I'll come back to this in a second. But this was something that our good friend Kurt Mullet posted. So shout out to him. Since World War II, the United States has given over $260 billion in aid to Israel, the largest amount it has given to any other country in the entire world. This isn't just foreign aid. It's a pipeline, a guaranteed unstoppable stream of U.S. taxpayer dollars that flows straight into Israel's military machine. Every year, the U.S. sends $3.8 billion to Israel. That's over $10 million every single day. And you know who has a healthcare system that's pretty amazing? Israel. You know how many kids in the United States of America struggle with health issues? Going back to what Dr. Thomas Fisher said yesterday, because our healthcare system is so jacked up. But yet we care about our kids. Listen, if you got to come after me about what I'm saying about Israel, I'm not saying it about Israel per se. I'm saying this is just dumb foreign policy. If we were sending it to, Italy, I probably had the same concern, especially if it's going toward their military and their military is in cause, and this crosses administration. So don't go there either with me, because I got something for you there. All of them. We as a country need to stop doing this kind of stuff if we're truly going to take that stand. But currently, There's only one country that's in war with us against war, in fighting a war against somebody else. And it's been that way for a long time, and that's Israel. So I'm going to call it out. And if it gets anybody uncomfortable, then maybe you need to, as my mother used to say, go take a look in the mirror. $300 million, y'all, for 3 jets, friendly fire. You need to keep this on the tip of your tongue. When you're talking to somebody and they're like, yeah, but they're bad people. Those Iranians are bad people, and we need to take out. We took out their bad dictator. $300 million. That's as I said yesterday, the average rough amount is about $250 a month in SNAP for an individual. However it's dispersed, to a child, to an adult, $250 a month. Divided into 300 million, that's 100,000 Americans that get their SNAP money. It's to me, it's simple math. And we just, at the snap of our, it's like, what's the dude in the Avengers that snapped his fingers? Thanos snapped his fingers, and we lost $300 million. We need to stop doing that, y'all. We just do. And in this current administration, it's only going to get worse because of the word obstinance. They think they're right in every situation. They do not acknowledge that they've made a mistake. And in the process of not acknowledging that you made a mistake, you keep making the same mistake over and over again. Okay, this is where wash, rinse, repeat has no place. This war is gonna cost us even more money. It's gonna cost us more lives, and it has to stop. So let's take a quick break, guys. The number is 773-763-9278. You're listening to Choose Views on WCPT AM 820 in Chicago and WARR 1520 AM and 103.5 FM from Warren County, North Carolina. I'm Richard Chu. We'll be right back. Hey, progressives, it's Richard Chu, host of Choose Views weekdays 6 to 8 a.m. Central. We're all anxious for the 2026 midterm election to arrive so we can restore some sanity and much-needed oversight to our government. In fact, it's the most important midterm election in American history, and Choose Views will be in the thick of it, bringing you candidate interviews on a regular basis. I'll be talking to Democratic Party hopefuls running for House and Senate at the federal and state level, as well as candidates for governor and other state and local offices.
I am in love with our ability to fight for our rights, to fight for our future, to fight for our freedoms, to fight as our ancestors fought. It's just our moment. This is just our time to stand up and to speak up. We can't give up on this.
If you miss any of the interviews live, you'll be able to find them all on WCPT's candidate interviews page at heartlandsignal.com/candidates. That's Choose Views weekdays from 6 to 8 a.m. on WCPT, Chicago's progressive talk for 20 years.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container, because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Because facts matter. You are listening to WCPT 820.
You're listening to Choose Views with Richard Chu.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show, and thanks for being with us. A couple of quick Choose Views news items on this March 6, 2026. Check this out. The U.S. government is ordered to start refunding tariffs. The Federal Trade Court has ordered the Trump administration to begin refunding more than $130 billion in reciprocal tariffs struck down in last month's 6-3 Supreme Court decision. How about that? Middle East evacuations costing thousands as the war rages on. Excuse me, guys. Thousands remain stuck in the Middle East as the war in this region rages on. Up to 23,000 flights have been canceled going back to February 28th when the joint U.S. Israeli strikes of Iran started to take place. International airlines such as Emirates, Qatar Airways, and British Airways have all adjusted their schedules with Emirates suspending flights to Dubai until this coming Saturday, which is tomorrow. U.S. employers announced a 55% that the 55% fewer job cuts took place in February. Planned job cuts fell more than 50% during the month, according to Challenger Christmas and Gray. U.S.-based employees announced 48,307 reductions for the month versus more than 108,000 in January. February's figures represent a 72% drop over the same period last year. Morgan Stanley is cutting 2,500 jobs across major units as the company reshapes its priorities in the United States and abroad, according to Business Insider. The cuts, which represent about 3% of the bank's workforce, will impact employees in three major units: wealth management, investment banking, and investment management. The White House's Fed chair appointee is going to face a tough road. Kevin Warsh, who was formally nominated yesterday to serve as the Fed Reserve's next chair, is seen as potentially a rate cut friendly Fed chief. However, the path toward lowering interest rates further is fraught with challenges, according to Reuters. Current economic indicators like persistent inflation and flattening employment, and I would now say and add a war, will make the cuts from the Fed even more difficult. And last but not least, oil prices climb after Iran claims it attacked the tanker. The oil prices pushed higher yesterday after Iran said that it had attacked the tanker, and China ordered domestic refiners to halt exports of diesel and gas. Brent crude, the worldwide benchmark, reached $83 a barrel, while U.S. crude topped $77, with the Iran war in its sixth day. All right, those are just a couple of quick new Choose Views news items on this Friday, March 6, 2026. All right, we're going to get right into it because we've got a limited amount of time before Karen is with us. There's a way you deal with the Republicans who don't want to cooperate, particularly during a testimony. There's a way you got to lean into them. You got to put it to them. And the first clip is, both of these clips are from Representative from Colorado, Joseph Neguse. And this is how you deal with them. The second one is going to then lead us into a conversation that I know everybody's talking about in terms of the latest and breaking news. So, Henry, let's hit him with the first one with where he's talking about ICE.
That $10.3 billion, who profits?
What do you mean by profit?
Who profits from that $10.3 billion? The
American people profit from it by better security. That's right. Do you want to talk about the number of assaults against ICE agents? The number of people that
do any private companies profit from the $10.3 billion that is allocated to ICE in this bill? Do they profit? Do any private corporations profit from this bill? Mr. Chairman, is that, if you don't know the answer,
I have no idea.
I can tell you the answer. The answer is yes. Dramatic profits, record profits. Have you heard of a company called GEO Group?
No.
It's the largest private contractor for ICE in the United States. This is a news release from their third quarter announcing record profits by virtue of the money that Republicans allocated in the reconciliation bill last year. I'm going to quote. This is from their CEO. Since the beginning of the year, we have entered into new or expanded contracts that represent over $400 million in new incremental annualized revenues that are already under contract and are expected to normalize in 2026. This represents the largest amount of new business we have won in a single year in our company's history. He's talking about the appropriations that Republicans are championing, both in the reconciliation bill and now this $10.3 billion to add to the slush fund that ICE already has. That's where the money is going, to for-profit companies. The Brennan Center has described this as a detention and deportation industrial complex. That is what you all have created. They are making money hand over fist. And I think it's reprehensible. And I think this Congress ought to do something about it. And it's clear to me this bill does nothing on that front. 4 companies, 4 of the hundreds of thousands of companies in the United States, you identified 4. One of those is this Safe America Media company. Where is Safe America Media headquartered?
I don't know.
I don't know either, Madam Secretary. We can't find it. We can't find a website. We did find an address that's registered for this company. Do you know where that address is?
Is there a problem with this contract?
I'll tell you about it.
According to
Madam
law,
Secretary, the address is registered to a political operative. Madam Secretary, the company, and then I'll give you an opportunity to respond. The company is registered to a political operative in Virginia. Do you know, just by way of example, whether this company that received $143 million in taxpayer dollars, has it ever done work for the government before?
I don't know. I can't.
The answer is it has not. And do you know why we know that? Because it was incorporated 8 days before this contract went out. You want the American people to believe that this is all above board? Yes, that $143 million of taxpayer money just happened to go to this one company that doesn't have a headquarters, doesn't have a website, has never done work for the federal government before, and is registered apparently or attached to a residence from a political operative. And of course, one of the subcontractors of that contract, as you know, is a political firm that's tied to you back when you were governor of South Dakota.
Okay. Representative Joe Neguse out of Colorado. He brings the heat every time he's in one of these hearings. He comes prepared. He's got more than the receipts, y'all. He's got the tape that the receipts are printed on. Okay. The first one was talking with Oklahoma Republican Tom Cole. He asked him a question about the profitability, and his response was, "I have no idea." Then what the hell are you there for? You have no idea. Then go home, chump. Go home. If you have no idea, you know what you're going in. You know where you're going to be in terms of this testimony. They didn't just call you up in the morning on your way to the office and go, "Hey, we need you to come in." So if you did, you got to know what they're going to be talking to you about. So you have your people have you prepared as best possible. I have no idea. What kind of answer is that? Go home. And then, as I pivot to talk about the story of the day, the second clip was with Representative Neguse talking about the ineffectiveness of DHS. I'm sorry, apologize, and Christy Cakes. I mean, you don't know about a company that money was provided to in 8 days. I mean, all right. My words are with me, but I'm backing off from saying certain things because I don't want to say, I don't want Henry to have to throw his shoulder out to hit the cuss button. But listen, y'all, the thing that Neguse was talking about is this misuse of taxpayer money on this company that was incorporated 8 days prior to receiving this money. And it's the dotted lines are becoming merged in terms of the money being funneled to them through DHS. Shout out to Congresswoman Robin Kelly. Right after Alex Priddy was assassinated, she filed for articles of impeachment of Kristi Noem. That was the first congressional leader that actually used a tool in their toolkit quickly to get this conversation out there, and it was one of the major points, I say, in us all focusing more on Kristi Noem's ineffectiveness, her mediocrity, all the words that I've used to describe her in public. The ones I use in private, we won't talk about. But what I will say about that is she's rightfully done. We saw that she's out as Secretary of DHS, and she should have been gone a while ago. She didn't get impeached, but she's gone from that job. But then as who sent this to me? One of our listeners sent this to me. She just failed upward to a made-up job. Thanks, 630. Kristi gets a new made-up job and needs some new makeup, by the way. In other words, you can't fire me, Donnie. I know too much. And I agree with that. I think that what's going to happen is, and I said this yesterday, not on the show, I was talking with my wife about this. I said, listen, what I think is unfortunate is that there are these women who've been put in these roles, and they're put in positions where they're going to fail because of the fact that they're incompetent, not because they're women, but because they're incompetent. And it's going to, that's going to be part of the story that, these folks are in place. Christie's one, Bondi's the other, the list goes on. But Bondi's, Kristi Noem is out. And she should be gone. She's going to fail in another role, this made-up role with some, liaison or envoy. So she still gets a check. And talk about a waste of money. I think, what do they make? $173,000 a year as a cabinet person. I think that's the number. So let's cut that in half. And how many young folks coming out of school who are far more competent than she is should get that money? Let's split it down the middle. Or find 4 college graduates and split it again. They're making 40 and some change, but they got a job and they're going to do good work. Versus what this woman's, the waste of resources that she's become. Plus we're talking about salary, but what about all the other monies that she's wasted? That's just absolutely unhinged stupidity. But here we are. You got something for me. You're going to say something?
No, from Mercado in the back. Shout out. He was saying that it's honestly sometimes double that. I believe. I think it's $240,000 is the salary.
Yeah.
It's
So
crazy.
split it. So divide it by 4, and let's put 4 college graduates. They could probably do a better job collectively. 22 to 25-year-olds could probably do a better job at DHS than Christie. But now we failed forward again with the new secretary that's got to go through Senate is this guy, Mark Wayne Mullen. And all I can tell you about him, and y'all can pull this up before we get, by the time we get Karen on. There was a hearing, and in the hearing, the gentleman that he was questioning pushed back on some things that Mark Wayne Mullen was saying to him. And I know that folks will probably be able to grab this. He pushed back on him. It's like, basically, no, man, you can't come at me like that. And Mark Wayne Mullen, who was a failed WWE fighter, decides that he's going to start to threaten the dude and stands up. He shoulders up like, yeah, well, come on, let's throw down. I'm like, what? And so now we have another bully that's going to be the head of one of our agencies if he gets selected by Congress, by the Senate. So any Democrat, John Fetterman. Fetterman's already talking about, I don't know what my Democratic colleagues are going to do, but he's a yay for me. What? We haven't even had the hearing yet, and you're already saying yes? I wonder. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to stay away from that. I'm going to stay away from that. Stay away. I hope that every Democrat, because I think they need 60 to get him approved. Okay, if Fetterman's already, vomiting on himself and going to do that, fine. But every other Democrat needs to stay in line, because if they don't get to 60, then this dude isn't going to get in, and he shouldn't, because he's not qualified. That's the reason why. We got to take a break. I blew right through it. I'm sorry, guys. 773-763-9278 is the number. You're listening to Choose Views on WCPT, AM 820 in Chicago, and WARR 1520 AM and 103.5 FM from Warren County, North Carolina. When we come back, we will be talking with our good friend Karen Byrne from TruBlu Politics podcast. We'll be right back.
When it comes to banking, you need a bank you can trust. A bank with a rock-solid reputation and the highest integrity. A bank that gives you the attention and respect you deserve.
ABOC first opened its doors in downtown Chicago in 1922, and we've made our name on deep expertise, best-in-class service, and a strong commitment to our customers. We know the Chicago business market inside and out and can help you craft the perfect banking solution, no matter what type of business you're in.
And if you're looking for a banking partner for your labor union, we can bring the type of expertise that only comes from a bank that was founded by labor unions and still has union employees and shareholders to this day.
Whether you need a deposit account, loan, trust services, or investment management, ABOC has you covered. Let's work together to manage your finances today while planning for a better tomorrow. ABOC, a bank built on a strong foundation.
Visit aboc.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Michael Caro. For today, we'll have dense fog to start, otherwise showers and storms becoming likely today, high temperatures approaching 70. For tonight, more periods of showers and storms, a low of 61. For Saturday, a lingering chance for some showers and thunder showers through midday, and then drying things out into the afternoon, early day highs in the low 60s, falling into the 50s in the afternoon. And that's your latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 44.
Hey Google, play WCPT.
Streaming Chicago's progressive talk from TuneIn.
This is Chew's Views with Richard Chew.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. Shout out to Cindy over in Michigan. Shout out to 646-708. I think that must be Cassie. So shout out to Cassandra in Oak Park. Yes, for reminding me of a few things and certainly throwing out some good barbs. Speaking of great people with great commentary, let's welcome to the show our good friend Karen Byrne from TruBlu Politics podcast. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning. I would like to order 3 eggs scrambled and some cheesy grits with gluten-free toast.
All right, I'm going to send that order right up now. It's hanging on the thing. Mike's going to get that taken care of. Yeah, right.
Thank you. Y'all making me hungry, and the first thing in the morning, making me hungry.
Well, listen.
Talking about cheesy grits. Oh, my God, Richard, what have you done to me?
I know, girl.
Turning me on to cheesy grits.
I try to tell you, it changes your world. And
I'm not kidding.
Right? They're cooked properly.
Oh.
Have you seen? Has anybody seen that cat video? There's 2 cats. They just got fed, and there was one bowl that was put down, and one cat's eating from the bowl, and the other cat comes up to try to get a bite, and the one cat gives him a stiff arm. Okay, I'm way off the rails this morning, y'all. Sorry about that, but.
I know. I see where you're going with this, though. Yeah.
That's how you would be with your grits. You'd be like, "Hey, listen, back up, player. I'm gonna have to hurt you."
I am this many years old, and I had never had cheesy grits. And we started talking about it, and we're like, and we still have to go. And I want to, you need to take me somewhere, where they have good cheesy grits. But I'll tell you, I went home. I couldn't stop thinking about them, and I actually taught myself how to make them. Now, I don't know how they hold up to the professionals, but I got to say, if my grits taste as good as those grits, or if those grits taste better than my grits, then yeah, I'm in.
It's a dangerous path to go down, and I know what you're
really
saying,
is.
and I truly understand. And yes, we'll put together a party of folks, and we'll all go out. I got a couple places in mind, but I know first and foremost, you and we got to figure out, Karen. There's so much to say. We could talk for 2 hours, but. I'm glad that Christie is gone from this role, but at the same time, the replacement, that the nominee is worse in some ways.
He clearly doesn't have the temperament. We can put that aside. We can put that right up front. He doesn't have the temperament. But here's the thing, and people are kind of bending over backwards, giving the Republicans that stood up and really raked her and who is that? Hobag? Was that Tom Homan over the Coles? But the reality of the situation is, this is how I see it going, because I have raised children. I kind of look at okay, what's going on? What's the game here? And yes, some of them are leaving so they can start, doing their jobs of oversight and actually holding these people's feet to the fire, excuse the expression. But the reality is that what I see this as is they're going to do their thing because they know that the Republicans across the country are in trouble. And so they've got to step up and act like they're conducting themselves the way they should have been conducting themselves all along, and honestly, not to create political theater to give the Republicans some sort of credibility and cover in their role in government. Because all that's going to happen is, yes, Kristi Noem is gone. Now we've got this other D-bag in And he's just going to be added to the list of people that Democrats, when we do take this back, are going to be called before Congress, are going to be raked or investigated, and they will be held accountable, criminally accountable, when this is all over. When Governor Walz says that Christie should get used to spending some time in Minnesota, that means something.
Yes, it does.
They are going to be prosecuting the case against her for her criminal conduct in the state of Minnesota.
Without a doubt, and I can't wait for that to happen. And listen, my big challenge right now with this is that they're just gonna, this Mark Wayne Mullen guy and Mike and Henry are trying to find this one. Clip that this hearing where he was ready to get all Brody and go to MMA fighting with this dude that was there during the testimony. I mean, like, what is wrong with you? But here's the thing: even though that's how he was and what he did and all, that Trump would nominate him. The fact that we just keep failing, we keep putting failures in these positions that are ones that are of high responsibility. And there's always a price tag that they just keep fumbling and funneling, and I'm going to use the software, but mucking up. They're incompetent,
and yet
Karen.
It's totally on brand. It's totally on brand, though, isn't it?
It is.
So I mean, this is what it is. But we just have to understand what we're seeing, and that is that the Republican Party, they always have some sort of modus operandi. And it is not lost on me the fact that Kristi Noem is being held to a different standard. I don't like her. I'm glad she's gone. But she is being held to a different standard than Donald Trump himself. Because the things that Kristi Noem was being raked over the coals over and grilled over about basically stating that Renee Good and Alex Preddy were domestic terrorists, Donald Trump did the same thing. Sure did.
You're absolutely right. And this is where the gender piece comes in. And what I said before, isn't it interesting? Just look at the optics of this. The guy that's been accused by many as being a pedophile. I'm not going to call him one because I can't say that. But the person that's been accused, credibly accused by a lot of people as being a pedophile and taking advantage of young girls, of minors. Think about the optics of this for a moment. When you think about the faces of this administration when it comes to who's speaking to the public, it's tended to be 3 to 4 women. Let's start with KKK Caroline. Let's then move the ball downfield to Pam Bondi, and then we've got Kristi Noem and Susie Wiles as chief of staff, and I'm drawing a blank on somebody else, Nancy Mace. All of these folks are not competent in their role, irrespective of their gender. But the subliminal thing that I think is happening is it's putting women out there, just like he fronted on girls and young pageant women. He's fronting on these women and putting them out there where they're the ones that are taking the hits for him. And I don't think that's by accident. I think it's by design that he throws the women to the wolves when it comes to his bad behavior. And it's just the same as it was when he was allegedly taking advantage of young girls. I know that might be a stretch for some people, but my brain does that every now and again. I look at it and go, what else is going on here that maybe we're not really talking about? I think a lot of people are afraid to talk about it that way because they're worried about sounding like they're being sexist. I ain't being sexist. I'm actually saying the dude that's in the White House is doing exactly doing exactly what we just said, Karen, and not being held to the same standard. And other people are having to fail or show their failure because of him. So there you go.
Sure, and it speaks to the fact that women who are going to work to withhold the white male patriarchy or the white patriarchy. If you're going to co-sign and if you're going to be a part of, keeping that where it is, and you're a woman, women are misogynist. And, these women are misogynists, and they know, they have identified that as long as they are proximate to the white patriarchy, that they are going to fail up every time. They're going to make more money than a woman doing, honest work. And so that's what they've seen. That is what they have figured out.
Yep.
And that is not to make an excuse for them. They can take agency over themselves, and they can do like the rest of us and say, not today.
Yep.
We're not doing this. We're not down with this. We are going to be who we are. We are going to use our voices in the way that we feel is right. We are going to help people, not hurt people. We are going to live our lives the way they claim, that they live theirs, following the teachings of Jesus Christ, which they clearly do not. Okay, so that's, and I'm not a Bible thumper, but if we are taking Jesus Christ and his teachings at face value, they are failing.
Yep. If you're going to use
being Christian.
Here's the thing. If one's going to use that as a justification for the behavior, or not the behavior, but a justification for being the way that they say that they are, then when we find holes that we can drive a truck through it on, then it's our responsibility to do that. It's not about how we perceive the Bible or Christianity or Islam or any of the other religions, Judaism or the Buddhist faith. It's because if you're going to use that as your platform to stand on, if it starts to crumble, we're going to help you push it over because you use it as a tool to beat people down. Enslavement in this country was rationalized by Christianity. So, there you go. I hear what you're saying.
The bigger the cross, the more lies that you're about to hear.
You're listening to Choose Views on WCPT, AM 820 in Chicago and WARR 1520 AM and 103.5 FM from Warren County, North Carolina. I'm Richard Chu. We're talking with Karen Byrne of TruBlu Politics podcast. And Karen, there is so much to talk about right now, and there's so much that's happening right now. We haven't talked since I got back from North Carolina, and I will tell you that the folks down there appreciate the comments, the conversations that you and I have. They appreciate listening, and some of them have even peeped your podcast. So it just goes to show that, really cool. Some great folks came up to me and shared those words. But we haven't talked about the war since I got back because, it was last Saturday when it started. And you've heard my comments about it in terms of the waste of money, the misuse of money, the lives that have been lost, that are going to be lost, the numbers that are being underreported. And now we're seeing that the targets that were put out there as targets that were viable targets may have actually been 3D images and or renderings. WTF times 1,000.
Right. Well, I would expect nothing more than from this group of individuals. Bush Cheney at least had the wherewithal to try and make the case. They went to Congress. They went to the UN to speak about going into Iraq. This group of people has made no such effort. They didn't even conjure up somebody that the country respected as a hero, like Colin Powell, to sell the lies. Because the reality of the situation is they are doing the work for Israel. They are doing this, and they are stepping all over each other, contradicting each other as to why we're going in. They don't have a plan. We've already got 6 Americans killed. We've got 170 girls. And I'm not even 100% that we're going to get all of the actual numbers of the people that are going to be the body counts from this administration.
I don't think we will, Karen. I don't think we ever will. Because that's really not their concern. And that's not their concern when you've got the president and his Department of whatever we want to call it, Department of Defense. I'm going to call it Department of Defense. Running around saying, yeah, it happens. It's going to happen. And, they don't care about the death toll. They really don't care.
No.
No. And this is one of those moments where, I mean, you and I shoulder up on this one often. This is where corporate media is failing like nobody's business. They should just be hammering hard rather than playing these sort of cat and mouse games and tiptoeing around it. But I know that the White House press briefings are designed to do nothing but have the softball questions. And then when Caroline gets a little itch in her backside, she decides to freak out and start going after people. But see, that's why you, me, right. Eric Grant, Joan Esposito, Stephanie Miller, Tom Hartman, Bob says they aren't going to let us in. Because if they let us in, we're shutting it down. I mean, seriously, I would be on. I would tell them, y'all gonna throw me. The questions I'm about to ask, Caroline, you all are gonna throw me out. So you may as well just clear the door because I'm gonna ask these questions. I'm gonna put it out there. But they've cooked the books so that you and me and the Stephanies and the Erics of the world don't get a press pass, or press credentials to come in and ask some real questions.
Right, and this is the thing, with that we need to be clear about. By usurping the Congress's power, by bypassing their approval, is stepping on we the people. Yep. But here's the good news is that when the Republicans go and vote not to limit his power, that is going to be to our advantage because we're going to be able to run on that. Democrats are going to be able to use that.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right, so let me ask you this question, and we'll just talk. We'll talk about it from an optimistic standpoint. You heard what I said the other morning after the elections, and some kudos out to people who ran hard and won, and that includes Tallarico. I mean, what I said, and I stand behind this, is yes, many people are upset in the way in which this went down with regard to Jasmine Crockett, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But didn't she show class and leadership and a lack of selfishness by very quickly saying, listen, I didn't win. Y'all need to get behind James Tallarico because we got to win this seat. That's what leaders do. That's what a person that's right. An unselfish person does. She quickly flipped and said, listen, y'all, and you can be upset all day long, but we got to win this seat. And right?
She is a proud Texan who understands the assignment. I would expect nothing less from Jasmine Crockett. And, I think that James Tallarico, and this is, I think that as much as I would have loved for Jasmine Crockett to have won, I just want her like jetpacked to that position. I don't want her to have to go through everything. I mean, that may be undemocratic of me, but I just would hate to see what she was, what she would have been put through.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, if Jasmine Crockett ran up in Illinois, she would absolutely be elected.
Yeah, I mean,
up here.
That's the point. It's Texas, and let's be honest here.
We have to be real about this.
She's in a state where moderate Democrats are basically Republicans, and so first and foremost, let's lay that out. Let's set the table of cheese grits and pancakes. She was up against powers that another black woman in a different part of the country may not have been up against. But she still held her dignity, she still held her pride, and she's a team player because she knows that we have to win that seat. And I'm going to say this as best I can. She's going to be rewarded for that lack of selfishness at some point down the road.
I agree. I think she could beat. I think she can beat Ted Cruz. I think that let's get a Democrat in. And here's okay.
There you go.
My girl Anita. My girl Anita. I'm just gonna. Okay. So Anita, she's from San Antonio, Texas.
Right.
And the way she has been hearing on boots on the ground is that the Latinos in South Texas, that have been voting Republican for a very, very long time, they are leaving the Republican Party in droves. And a lot of these voters are men who will not vote for a woman.
Nope.
And that is the reality of the situation. So they will, and they did, vote for James Tallarico. And whether it is Paxton, my feeling is whether it's Paxton or Cornyn, James Tallarico will be the person that they vote for because they are moving away from the Republican Party. They have already stated that. Cornyn is running ads, how he, about the border, how he supports, Donald Trump. That's not going to win him any of their votes.
And neither should.
Down in Texas, you need the Latino vote if you're a Republican.
Yeah, you do. And it's an interesting, it's a, Texas and Florida are, when it comes to their, what we might call moderate Democrats, or you folks you'd think would be moderate Democrats, are just basically Republican light, and it shows in their voting, because there's got to be something not wrong, but something that is an inherent bias where you're going to vote for a guy that wants to send you away. And in many cases, and I'm calling out my Latino brothers as I call out my African American brothers in certain cases, to get past some of your historicals for a minute and look at the future. The future is inclusive of women. The future is inclusive of diversity. So for Hispanic men, or for any men, but particularly when I'm talking about men of color, I'm being hardcore here, so y'all gonna just have to deal with it. Any man of color that sits back and says, I can't vote for a woman, you've lost your damn mind. Okay, plain and simple. Any man of color. So black men, Hispanic men, Asian men, Muslim men, the list goes on. Forget about your historical whatevers when it comes to, your faith and your whatevers. Get past that, because every time you do that, your community, our communities, are the ones that are hurt first, hardest, and longest. Period. So I'm talking about all of us. So right now, Texas, y'all, the men down there of color, y'all need to wake the blank up and get with the program. And now Tallarico's going to probably be our guy. Let's get him in. No pity patting around. Well, he's not. I mean, they got it. If you weren't going to vote for Jasmine, then you got to vote for Tallarico in droves. Plain and simple.
Right. And I know that James Tallarico is going to return the favor when she runs against Cruz, and I think she could beat Cruz.
I do too.
Because Cruz.
And now they have
Cruz is not popular.
So here's the thing too, Karen. I think you were about to say this, and I didn't mean to interrupt you earlier.
No.
But I think that this could be the template. And everybody's kind of, this could be the template. We crack one. We get this right. Moderate Democrat in, and now we've got a playbook to open up and get that other seat. And that's that's long range planning. That's what we've got to do. So
we got to lube the joints. We got to grease the wheel. We got to, that's how you do it.
Put some more butter on the biscuits. How about that one?
Massage it in, a little butter on the biscuits.
And a little bit more cheese in the grits. Oh, somebody out there is going, I know Richard's going to go for that one. I can just feel it. He's just warming it up. Karen Byrne from TruBlu Politics podcast. We got to scoot because we had a tight morning this morning, but thanks for hanging out with us as always. I appreciate you and all that you do. Have a great rest of the day and a fantastic weekend, okay?
Thank you. Love to all of you and all of the family at WCPT. And TruBlu Politics podcast will be dropping this we're trying to get it earlier than Monday, but Monday for sure. We're trying to get the turnaround a little bit better, but Anita and I recorded the episode yesterday, so I'm looking forward to people listening to, liking, and giving some feedback on it and weighing in on our Patreon page. Okay, honey.
Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Tomorrow on Live, Local, and Progressive, Joan Esposito will be taking your calls the first half of the show. Not tomorrow. What did I say tomorrow, guys? I meant today. I got biscuits and gravy on my brain. And today on Live, Local, and Progressive, Joan will be talking to a variety of people and taking your calls. Chris Fitzsimmons, host of the Stories from the States podcast, Illinois Comptroller Susana Mendoza, Pat Quinn, former governor of Illinois. Tonight on Driving It Home, Patty Vasquez will be joined by Quinn Fulmer, candidate for DuPage Forest Preserve District 1, Nick Nowajewski, candidate for Illinois State Senate, and Sanjot Dunik, Democratic candidate for Congress in the 8th District of Illinois. Those shows are here on WCPT, Live, Local, and Progressive, and Driving Home with Patty Vasquez, weekdays 5 to 7, and Joan is on from 2 to 5. WCPT, Heartland Signal website, TuneIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Democracy Stupid, tomorrow with Edwin Eisendrath. Guest, Greg Kallstrom, Middle East correspondent with The Economist. Jonathan Larson, veteran journalist and TV news producer, and Will Bunch, national columnist for the Philadelphia Inquirer. It's Democracy Stupid, Saturdays, 1 to 4 Central, CPT. That's the place to be. I'll talk about next week's guest when we get back. When we come back, we will be talking with candidate for Congress, LaShawn Ford. We'll be right back.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
America, look around. Everywhere you go, prices are still high, rates have been whipsawing markets, and the debt and spending don't exactly scream stability. Experts say diversifying with intention is the #1 secret account that all American smart money uses to hedge against instability. Monetary Gold has been around since 2000, witnessing multiple economic setbacks. If you call now, Monetary Gold will cover up to a lifetime of your IRA fees on qualified accounts. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
Staples has hot deals and low prices on everything for your business, like up to $125 off your print order. Ends April 18th. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
This is 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Michael Caro. For today, we'll have dense fog to start, otherwise showers and storms becoming likely today, high temperatures approaching 70. For tonight, more periods of showers and storms, a low of 61. For Saturday, a lingering chance for some showers and thunder showers through midday, and then drying things out into the afternoon, early day highs in the low 60s, falling into the 50s in the afternoon. And that's your latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 46.
In times of uncertainty, we need leaders who put country before party. Dan Tully answered that call, serving our nation with honor.
I served in the Army Reserve and as a federal civil servant. But when the Trump agenda threatened our democracy, I refused to stay silent. I left my job in Washington in protest of Trump's lawlessness.
Dan Tully is the only candidate with a detailed plan to hold Trump accountable, a veteran, a principled leader, and ready to fight for you.
Visit DanTully.com to see my comprehensive strategy for accountability. I'm Dan Tully, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Dan Tully for Congress.
A frog in boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in cool water and slowly heat it up, that frog will boil. As veterans, we tell ourselves the lie that we can handle anything. We let the water boil. You are not a frog. If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach. Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see. Depression won't show up on an eye chart, and you won't find PTSD by looking at a thermometer. Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment. Anxiety won't just go away under a bandage. If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, call 1-800-662-HELP for free and confidential information and treatment referral. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer. Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Out Chicago.
I'm saying it again. Equal rights for others does not mean less rights for you. It does not.
People are insecure. It's horrible.
But if you could hear my voice and you voted for this, just think about how does gay marriage affect your life? It does not make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Catch Out Chicago every Sunday, 11 to 1 on WCPT 820.
A veteran's hope. Where are you hiding? I search for you in the seconds, the minutes of each and every day. Hear me as I call out to you. Welcome me home. Alone we stood, divided we fell. No longer. Now we choose to make the connection. Our new mission lies within. Visit maketheconnection.net to learn more.
WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter.
Richard Chu's got his eyes on the truth.
And you're right where you need to be.
This is Chu's Views.
Hey, guys, welcome back to the show. Thanks for being with us this morning. 773-763-9278 is the number. Great having our good friend Karen Byrne from TruBlu Politics podcast with us. Check out her podcast. It's good stuff, y'all. And they curse, too. So it's always, that makes a little bit, adds some flavor to it. Oh, man. Our bench of candidates and current office holders in the Democratic Party is really strong. No matter what the corporate media tries to say or the GOP tries to say about our team, we have a very, very strong team. And in Illinois, we are leading the fight in many ways in terms of elections that are coming up. We got 3 congressional elections. We've got, in terms of new people that are stepping down, we've got new people coming in. We've got a U.S. Senate seat. But that's just how we roll here in Illinois and in Chicago. And with us this morning is one of those voices that's been in the fight on the state level for a long time. And is made the decision that running for Congress is the next step. With us, LaShawn Ford. You've heard the voice, you've heard the name, you've seen the ads, you've seen the conversation. LaShawn, good morning and welcome to Choose Views.
Thank you for having me, Drew. Good morning to you, your listeners, and all of your support here with all this hair.
I know, yeah.
Jesus.
Well, you know that the guys here and the folks, I should say, the guys and the gals, and listen, guys, I'm not being disrespectful to you. We got a young crew of really, really smart, strong people that help with all of our shows. Today it's Henry and Mike and Whitney. But we've got a great team of people here, and that's what it takes to win in any capacity. I mean, I love people, even in individual sports. You know, we know this. Folks that play, it's a team.
Yeah.
You talk to any tennis player, you talk to any golfer, they're going to tell you, and those are two single sports that come to mind. They're going to tell you it's the team. It's the people around them. And that's why I don't get too far into the conversation about who's the GOAT in basketball.
Well, I will.
But because you snatch any player off of a team and it changes the dynamic, which leads me to where I want to go right now. I said we've got a great group of folks that are running for office in so many different of the offices that are up. You're one of those people. But kind of reintroduce yourself to our audience. They know who you are, but I want to, just to have you take a moment and just remind people of who LaShawn Ford is.
Well, you know, I'm I'm part of the family here at WCPT. I actually had my own show here for a number of years, and I've been a constant friend to the progressive talk radio.
Yeah.
A teacher. I used to teach very close to the radio station at Bridge Elementary School. So a teacher by profession, a real estate broker, and a independent Democrat that actually ran against the party.
Yeah.
And beat the party to be a state representative that came and continued to be progressive in changes that's important to the underdogs in our society.
Yeah.
People that struggle with substance use disorder, people that struggle with criminal justice injustices, people that struggle with equity in school, in banking. I mean, that's been the fight that I've been progressively attacking as a state legislator. You know, introducing stuff that the Democratic Party ordinarily wouldn't be interested in talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But I listen to constituents and they drive the agenda that I push.
Yeah. And a lot of times that gets lost in terms of what constituents want versus what the elected official or the candidate wants. And you know, we know that people who are struggling or people that are not struggling all kind of want the same thing, and that's to be able to move forward with their lives, to move to a better place. I think that's just kind of, it's not even, you know, the American dream. I think that's kind of a place that all of us are in humanity. We want to see our lives get better and prosper and just be something that we can feel good and be proud of. And you have been that one of those candidates that's listened and tried to get the real ears or the real words in your ears from those people. Can you kind of isolate what would be the biggest thing that you're hearing right now from people that you're talking to, and what it is that's driving their conversation, their need and want from any of our elected officials?
You know, I think what people want, they want politicians that listen to them, that's willing to stand up and fight with them, and to make sure that you don't go along to get along.
Mm-hmm.
I think that people want politicians that will push back, even with their party, like I have. I mean, I have been on the opposite sides of all the governors on issues. But that's because we wanted to make things better. I mean, just because I have an idea, the governor has an idea, or the president of the United States have an idea, doesn't make it the finished product. And so when you listen to constituents and you listen to the voters and people tell you, I don't like the way that's moving, you take that to the room and you change it.
Mm-hmm.
You're a Hamilton man, I'm sure. It's good to be in the room.
Yeah, in the room when it happens.
Yeah, where it happens. And that's, I thank the people that have elected me for over the years to make sure that I go in those rooms and say, this isn't finished. We need to be better when we finalize this bill. You know, I tell you, when some of the bills that I am so proud to have been a part of, that I listened to the constituents, when the Catholic Church told me that I should be voting against civil unions,
mm-hmm.
the people told me that you have to be fair and just.
Yeah.
And I listened to the actual people and voted for civil unions. Then we went on and voted for marriage equality. And you look back and you say, if I had not listened to the people and did what I say I am, and that is one that believe in justice for all, that would have been a very disappointing vote if I did not listen and vote the right way.
Yeah, and the right way is it's a kind of a mix of different things. And right is right in terms of doing the right thing, but also what's the better thing for the majority of the people. I think that sometimes that's right also. It's like, okay, we know that this is really oversimplifying it. The speed limit's 70 miles an hour. That's the right thing based on the speed limit. But we also know that every now and again you're going to go faster than that because you got to get somebody to some place that they've got to get to.
Yeah.
And so when we measure right and wrong, that's one thing. But when we measure right versus what's not good for You know what I mean? That's how, and that's the point I'm trying to make here. We know the difference of right and wrong, but also right sometimes is what's the best thing for the majority of the people.
A philosopher said that, right? I can't remember the philosopher that you should govern
I got lucky
by.
on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But look, Shawn, here's the thing, too. I mean, the Democratic Party is a great party. But like so many things, we all know it needs to be shaved down, refined, cleaned up, made better. And that's across the board. I mean, on a local level, on a state level, on a national level, that we're always looking to improve and make our party stronger. But I wanted to get your take on some of the wins that we've had on a state level, on a national level. We have, to go back to use the words of the former governor, Republican of Florida, David Jolly, who was on this show. He said, Richard, our ideas are better. They're not perfect, but they're better. And now we fast forward. That was over a year ago when he was on. Now we fast forward to what's been happening these last 6 or 7 months in some of these special elections and some of these off-year elections, if you will. Our ideas seem to be more right for a larger majority of people, whether they be left, right, or in the middle politically. Talk a little bit about that and how you're navigating through those waters.
You know, I think when you look at our democracy, our goal is to make it a more perfect union. And we have had wins at the state level, county level, the federal level. Just think about how many people have been able to get preventive care for health care because Democrats voted for Obamacare or the ACA. Mm-hmm. That's a big win. When you think about the fact that we have more people that's eligible to vote, have the right to vote in America, that's a win. Now, whether people take advantage of it or not, America now says that black people have a right to vote. Women have a right to vote. And if you look at what's happening in America today, those rights are trying to be rolled back. And so those are wins that we have had. When you look at the fact that black people and women have a right to go to be educated, those are wins.
Yeah.
When you look at the fact that we now have a conscience in America about a justice system that has been unfair, those are wins. Before, it was people that sound like they were complaining about the criminal justice system being one-sided. Now, because of the work that's been done by Democrats to stay the course and to continue to fight and work the hearts and minds and conscience of people, we're winning. But what people have to understand is that we have to keep fighting, and don't think that Democrats have the answers without constituents' input. So my barber would say, don't elect them and leave them. So the number one time for people to get together is the day after the election. I mean, you elect a person, whether you vote for them or not, you should be really getting with them to have your way. I would say Republicans versus Democrats all day long. Democrats listen to the will of the people, will bend the arc of justice. Republicans will stay firm, erect to special interests like billionaires. Think about it. They are supporters of the big ugly bill that give tax breaks to billionaires that's going to continue to, make the income equality greater.
Yeah.
So people will become trillionaires as a result of the big ugly bill, which means more people will they would be driven into poverty.
Yeah.
And we will become more a country of few with.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
It definitely is. We're speaking with LaShawn Ford, and you're listening to Choose Views on WCPT, AM 820 in Chicago, and WARR 1520 AM and 103.5 FM. I'm Richard Chu, and with us this morning is LaShawn Ford, candidate for Congress. And we're talking about equality, and we're talking about equity in our country, and we're talking about how Democrats have tended to lean more in that direction, not perfectly, but as best seen in a direction that's going to serve the greatest amount of people in the country. I've said this for so many years now. Our policies are not designed to take things away from people, irrespective of where they sit politically. They're more designed to provide things for people. And I'm not talking about it from the standpoint of like the word handout, but to provide support and services and community and unity for the greatest number of people. And the Republican Party, I don't tiptoe around this anymore. Not that I ever really have, but they're not. Their policies are designed to take things away from and hurt people and create more chaos in life rather than peace and harmony. And you can put numbers. I'm a data guy and a numbers guy. I can put numbers to that as well as it be heartfelt. And that's where my next question leads to, LaShawn. There's so much money right now in politics, on the left and on the right. But you're running along with the people that are in races right now where dark money is really having an impact on this election cycle. Talk a little bit about how you feel about that, one, and then second part of it is, what do you plan on doing about it if you are elected to this seat?
Well, we got to end Citizens United. That's a must. We have to make sure that we do that. But dark money, we need campaign finance reform without a doubt. That has to be something that we fight for in Congress so that we can have fair elections. It would be great to have elections that's funded, public funded, so that there's a level playing field. But that would take a fight, and I'll be a part of that fight. I mean, the only way you could get people that really have the interest of the public is to have the public being able to help elect them. I mean, I see people donating $10, $15 to our campaign, and if they could donate more, they would. But you have the dark money, that's special interest, that's spending $2 million on one race, my race, to defeat our campaign and to actually make me look like a criminal. And that's unfair. It's a lie. And they could get away with it because Congress have failed to act and to stop that type of dark money from infiltrating campaigns.
Yeah. And so ending Citizens United is a thing that has been talked about for one of the longest times. And it's going to take, like ending the Electoral College, it's going to take us having the numbers congressionally to then be able to bring that to the table, stand behind it, and then it's going to take an effort with the Supreme Court that needs to happen. So I want to ask you a Supreme Court question. What do you think should happen with the numbers there? Do we need to expand the Supreme Court to 11 or 13 or a different number? And what are your thoughts about term limits when it comes to the Supreme Court? Because they've been the ones that have been moving the ball around.
You talked earlier about doing the greatest good for the most. And, when our Constitution was written, it was for those times. And we go and we legislate, and we should change with times. And I think that it's time to look at term limits or age or something for the justice. I think that we definitely, the fact that they're not elected by the people, there has to be a check.
Yeah.
When people talk about term limits and age limits, you got to look at age discrimination and things like that. And when you talk about term limits, you have to look at whether or not that's the best interest of the public. But the fact that Supreme Court justices have a lifetime appointment, what other job has that? So that should be.
I mean, even the presidency doesn't have a. To this point, even the presidency isn't a lifetime appointment.
Yeah, so that should end.
Yeah,
that we definitely should end that. And I do want you to know that I actually passed a bill for Illinois to opt into the Electoral College. So I passed that years ago. So Illinois is a part of the compact to say we're going to elect our president by the popular vote because I passed that. So we need a few more states to opt in.
I think one of the big questions too when it comes to the Supreme Court and its length of time is that the appointment tends to come. The appointment to the Supreme Court is a partisan appointment, no matter how you look at it. And so, by virtue of that, it tends to be lacking in representation of the majority of people. And I agree with you, and that is part of the reason I asked the question, because I knew a little bit about your legislation, that I would want to see us deal with that differently as we go forward, and certainly take away that lifetime appointment, and then we don't have to worry about it being an issue of age discrimination. So what about the expansion of the Supreme Court? What are your thoughts there?
You know, it's really amazing that once things are not going according to one party's way, then we try to figure out a way to change it. Mm-hmm. And so when everything was going the way the Democrats wanted it, then we were fine. Of course, the conservatives were upset, and now the Democrats are upset that we have a court that's conservative. I don't like it. I think that we should definitely bring the public in and figure out the best way to change it, whether we should pack the courts, whether we should have a system where we're actually having a election for them. Mm-hmm. But I think that what you will hear from some people that's never been a part of a legislative process, they will just say, just do away with it. Yeah. I believe in a process, the way our democracy should be ran. And we don't like when the current president does executive orders that changes the course of America without public input. Right. So I don't want to say today that we should just do it. I think that we should use Congress for what it's worth, have hearings, have town hall meetings, and get the public involved for the best change in our government.
Yeah, and that's a great way of looking at it, Shawn, in terms of it's the public that should have, you know, it is your answer, your observation is the essence of we the people. And to do all those things that we the people are supposed to represent, then I think it does require that there be more involvement in the we the people. The phrase, okay. Thank you. The greatest good for the greatest number. That comes from Jeremy Bentham. All right. I didn't know that I had...
You're a philosopher.
I won't take credit where credit's not due, but LaShawn helped us make it across the bridge. Speaking of that, and this is another thing that's in my notes to talk to you about, you have patterned yourself as being a bridge builder. And I hate to use, overuse words that aren't appropriate, but what does that mean to you in these last few days as we're running up to our primaries and all? Talk to us about what building bridges means to you right now as a candidate and what you want to see that look like.
Building bridges to me means that people know who you are, what you stand for, and they could get behind someone that they know what they stand for, whether they like everything that you do, but they know where you stand. They know what you believe in. And I would tell you, I have a lot of support at every level of this election, from people in Springfield, from the city council, from the county, from the federal government, and community-based organizations. My legislation and fights have not been popular. Mm-hmm. And when I look at the people that support me in the legislature, they know where I stand. They know that my heart is for the people. And I look, and it's funny because 20 years being in the legislature, I could look at all the people that support me, but not all of them always supported legislation that I did because it just wasn't good politically. Yeah. But guess what? They say, but we like his fights. And they want me to go to Congress to fight because they know where I stand. And that's what I call building bridges, because I have people in Springfield that will be partners to bring money back to Illinois to help our revenue in the state. I have people in the city council that will be helping fight for more money from the federal government to help the city. I have people in the county that will be helping fight going to Congress will be amazing to have the bridge that has been built stronger with those alliances, not to mention all of the community-based organizations. This is 20 years of building these relationships means something. No one else in the race has that type of established support in the community that has to go, that can't go unnoticed. I mean, we don't start over. We're talking about ready on day one. We have people at every level in the community, healthcare, criminal justice reform, early childhood education, K through 12, higher ed. We have relationships that's actually going to hit the ground running to make sure that we are effective day one if elected Congress.
My listeners will always hold me accountable. I try to stay away from saying the other phrase on a question that I've asked every candidate, whether they be here in studio, where over the phone, Zoom, anywhere in the country, and that is just that where you ended is the ability to get to Congress and hit the ground running. You don't have the time. If you win, you don't have the time to get there and get nice and know everybody and warm up to it. You got to come in, as I say, with the sledgehammer, knock some tables over, get some things going. Are you confident that you got the ability and the strength to be able to do that?
Absolutely. I think we already have been in Washington meeting with the Democrats leadership and the Republican leadership, and we are ready to join in the fight and teach about the fights that have not been at the table. We are ready. I mean, we have the Speaker of the House that's going to be ready to fight. We need more money coming to Illinois from the federal government. And if we could bring more money back to Illinois, that's going to help us reduce taxes. Property taxes are just out of control. And one of the reasons why they're out of control because the state needs revenue, the county needs revenue, and the only place that it seemed to think that we could get the revenue from is the people from more taxes. Well, what about our federal government bringing more money back to Illinois so that we could relieve people of the heavy tax burden? And I could tell you that would be a strong, unified fight that we'll have when elected to Congress. And the money is in Washington. We just have to have a delegation in Washington that's fighting to bring money back. Absolutely.
LaShawn Ford, candidate for Congress in the Illinois 7th Congressional District. Looking forward to how this race is going to turn out. I know that we've got some great people involved in all the campaigns, and it's great to have you with us in studio this morning.
Can I tell you something?
Real quick,
I want people to know that they are telling people that I'm a convicted felon. 17 counts, they say on TV, that I have been convicted of bank fraud and tax fraud. The DOJ said he's not a fraud. They threw out all 17 counts against me. And that's what I call justice, even though it was a fight. And I look forward to making sure that that experience in life doesn't happen to anyone else when I'm congressman.
Absolutely. LaShawn Ford, thanks for being with us this morning. We appreciate it. We're going to take a quick break, guys. The number is 773-763-9278. You're listening to Choose Views on WCPT AM 820 in Chicago and WARR 1520 AM 103.5 FM from Warren County, North Carolina. When we come back, we will be talking with congressional candidate from Georgia, Shawn Harris. We'll be right back.
Robin Kelly grew up behind the register in her dad's grocery store. So she knows what it means when the same groceries cost more each week. Under Donald Trump, corporations get tax breaks, loopholes, and a green light to price gouge. Families get higher grocery bills, higher childcare costs, high healthcare premiums. It's Trump's economy. Corporate profits first, people last. In Congress, Robin Kelly's been fighting back. Robin took on insurance companies to lower drug costs. She wrote the law extending Medicaid for new moms to a full year because cutting care after 60 days was just wrong. And now Robin Kelly is running for Senate with a people over profits agenda. Medicare for all, so healthcare isn't a ripoff. Cap on childcare costs so families can work. And crack down on corporate price gouging so you're not punished at every turn. People over profits. Robin Kelly for U.S. Senate.
I'm Robin Kelly, Democrat running for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Robin Kelly for Senate.
Hi, this is Pat Hines, candidate for Cook County Assessor. I've spent 30 years working in property tax assessments, serving taxpayers like you. We need a Cook County Assessor who will give you reliable and on-time property tax bills. This job requires professionalism, not politics. I'm Pat Hines, candidate for Cook County Assessor. I ask for your vote on or before March 17th.
This ad was paid for by Hines for Assessor.
This is a WCPT Veteran Minute. In the midst of World War II, a group of Native American soldiers known as the Code Talkers became silent heroes. The U.S. military faced challenge of secure communications on the battlefield, and these men, primarily from the Navajo tribe, were enlisted to develop an unbreakable code. Using their native language, which had no written alphabet, they transmitted vital messages that were indecipherable to enemy forces. The code proved to be an essential asset, particularly in the Pacific Theater, where it helped the Allies win crucial battles. The Code Talkers' courage and ingenuity saved countless lives and turned the tide of the war. Yet, their contributions remained largely unknown until decades later. The legacy of the Code Talkers stands as a testament to the strength, resilience, and invaluable service of Native Americans during one of America's most devastating conflicts. This has been a WCPT Veteran Minute.
You're listening to WCPT 820. Here's the latest Chicago weather update.
From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Michael Caro. For today, we'll have dense fog to start, otherwise showers and storms becoming likely today, high temperatures approaching 70. For tonight, more periods of showers and storms, a low of 61. For Saturday, a lingering chance for some showers and thunder showers through midday, and then drying things out into the afternoon, early day highs in the low 60s, falling into the 50s in the afternoon. And that's your latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 46.
Tolerance is accepting someone before they walk through the door.
It's about accepting people for who they are as individuals.
Tolerance is celebrating the diversity that makes us great.
Tolerance. Honor the differences.
Picture a world of respect. Visit tolerance.org to learn more.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Welcome back to Choose Views with Richard Chew.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. So I talked earlier about this person, Mark Wayne Mullen, that's being nominated or is going to be the nominee for DHS. And this is the clip that the guys found that I wanted you guys to hear.
Yeah, I mean, look, the reality of it is,
Accept my challenge,
tough guy.
Answer, hold it.
Accept
my Mr. O'Brien, do you want to respond to go ahead, question? Please.
Yeah, I mean, look, the reality of it is,
Accept my challenge,
Mr. Mullen, tough guy.
Answer, hold it. Answer the questions.
All right, y'all won. He made a lot of statements, right? And his statements are fiction at best.
Fiction, I read them. Can you answer?
What?
Oh, answer the question, please.
I can't understand him, to be honest with you.
All right.
He rambles so much. What was your question, actually?
You said I made a lot of statements.
No, but what's your question? I don't understand your question. Could you repeat it?
You said anytime, any place.
What's your question?
Accept the challenge.
What challenge?
You said anytime, any place. I'm accepting yours, so why don't you come
What
back?
challenge? What challenge are you talking
April
about?
30th. How about we do it for a charity at the Smoking Guns in Tulsa, Oklahoma? No, we're not going to be
what was the
talking about
challenge?
physical confrontations here.
You want to fight me?
What'd you say by anytime, any place?
Let's have coffee, discuss our differences.
Oh, that's what you said.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
All right, well, let's sit down and have coffee.
Let's do it.
All right.
I'd love to.
It's funny how you're backing out.
I don't back on anything.
You did.
You're the one. You're a 100.
Senator,
should be the most influential people in this country making changes.
Senator
You're
Hassan,
focused on.
Okay.
You're focused on debate that's not even relevant. You're an embarrassment. You're an embarrassment.
Look,
An embarrassment to the state of
this
Oklahoma.
hearing is about the condition of the working class in America. That's what we're talking.
You're the biggest thug here.
You brought him in.
All right,
You're the biggest thug. Even your
I don't know
colleagues call you.
why you do what you're doing, Senator Hassan.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Senator
Chair.
Hassan,
Senator Mullen, please yield. I've been recognized by the.
That's the kind of garbage that this administration wants to be at the head of the Department of Homeland Security. Wanting to fight with a union leader, a Teamster. I mean, it's such. I hope that the world is laughing at us to maybe get our attention. I don't know what it's going to take. But you go from Kristi Noem, who has, I have no idea, I don't know, and calling people domestic terrorists, to this goon, to this fool. My father told me something years ago, and it really helped me sort of channel myself. He said, son, there's always somebody bigger and stronger than you are. And the point I'm making about that is, just because this guy thinks he's going to be a bad A and, take on a Teamster, just because he's a senator, that he's going to take this guy on. We don't need that. There's nothing there. There was nothing in that conversation, in that hearing, about leadership. The only person that showed any leadership or restraint was Bernie Sanders, 80-plus-year-old guy, saying, you guys who could be my sons need to sit your behinds down. And it's just shameful. They're not leaders. Republicans just are not. And this is why I don't call them colleagues on any level, because they haven't proven to be colleagues. A colleague is someone that is looking out for you, that works in your to your best outcomes. I'm not going to call someone on the right a colleague, no matter how much I want to work together, until they show me that they're my colleague. They need to show it. I'm not just going to give it to them. And what the Republicans are putting up right now is certainly not people that are colleagues. We got to work with them, but they're not colleagues. A fighter, a leader. We've been blessed to have this gentleman with us before, and whenever we do, I'm always thrilled because he brings the heat. He is a fighter. He is someone that understands decorum, but he also recognizes that you fight until the end. That is retired General Shawn Harris for Congress is hanging out with us on Shoes Views this morning. Good morning, Shawn, and welcome back to the show.
Rich, it's good to hear your voice, brother.
Yours too. I mean, I got to start off by saying something. The race is this is a special election. Is that the right? Is it special election
Yep.
It's special election. The right wording for this seat that Marjorie Taylor Greene ran away from and took her toys and ran home. But I want to read something to you that was posted that I think everybody needs to hear, and it plays particularly well in Georgia. This comes from Alexandria Wisner Canabar. She's a Republican for Shawn Harris. You guys hear this? I really don't think of Shawn as a Democrat. I think of him as a Georgian, a veteran, and a farmer, the kind of man who represents my neighborhoods and my friends. He has more in common with the people around here than the Republican candidates do. If that's not a powerful endorsement, I don't think I've ever heard one. Shawn, that when I read that, I thought, yeah, that's right. That's who you are. You are representing the district and the entire state of Georgia. Talk about what's happening in this race right now.
Yeah, that's an incredible lady. Richard, we have done town halls. The district consists of 10 different counties, and we've done town halls in every county. And we invite everybody, Democrats, Independents, and, yes, Republicans. She came to one of our town halls. I didn't even know that she was a Republican. Just a normal conversation, answer a question, and out of nowhere, she actually first asked for a sign that said Republicans for Shawn, and then she came back and posted on her own page a picture of herself. Now she's came back and did that endorsement. So that is currently what's happening on the ground. We have Democrats that are extremely excited, independents that are pulling our way. And, yes, we also have a significant amount of Republicans that are saying enough is enough. We got to get the right person up there in Congress. And we're excited about today. It's the last day of early voting. And then Tuesday is election day, and we're feeling real good about winning this thing flat out. And if we don't, we are prepared to go right into the runoff and win it on April 7th. So I can't say it anymore. We are feeling good today. We're fighting this thing hard. And then let me say this before I stop. 2 Thursdays ago, the President of the United States actually stopped doing what he's doing and came right here to Rome, Georgia, because he's looking at the same information that we're looking at. And right now, a Democrat, that's what they love to call me. They never say my name. A Democrat is going to win this election.
Shawn, I will say this to you as proudly as I can. There are a lot of people who are running for office in the country right now, Democrats that are running for office. And this is a race that we're up here in Chicago, and, we have listeners all over the country, thankfully. But this is a race that I so want to be won by you because of I think the message that it sends to the country is a message that the country needs to hear right now. A black man, a farmer, a veteran, all of those things that Alexandria listed, a Georgian, a person that's really there to work for the people of the state and for the country, the district, the state, and the country. I think this is going to send, it'll be one of those messages that everybody in the country has to pay attention to. So if there's anybody that's sending you some strong energy and blessing and all those other good things, it's your boy, Richard Chew, up in Chicago.
Richard, I tell you, man, I do a bunch of interviews. And Richard, I got to tell you, man, you should be a preacher because you the guy that I talk to, you giving my energy back. So I need you to call me every other day. We don't even have to put it on the air. because I'm here to tell you, my job as a candidate, this is something I say to the team all the time, and I say to the people here in Northwest Georgia. My job as the candidate in this phase of what I call the fight, because we're in a fight, is to show that energy, to show that we're not scared. Courage is contagious, and to show that, hey, if we all get up and go vote, our voice can be heard. Yesterday, I talk about leadership matters, and what I mean by that, I will never ask anybody else to do something that I won't do. So yesterday afternoon, I was actually in Rome, Georgia, West Rome, knocking on doors, getting those last few people to come out and vote, and that's what we're actually doing today because it's enough Democrats. You heard what I said. It's enough Democrats that still hadn't voted that can flip this election where we win it on the 10th because what makes me different from everybody else that's running, I'm the only cat that actually ran for Congress before. And I have a track record where people trust me, as you already mentioned earlier. But the other piece is 135,000 people voted for me last time. If I can just get a very good percentage of that, we can walk away with this election. And what I'm saying to our Democrats right now is inside the district, this is our time. Don't let this early voting day today, Friday, go by without going to the polls. And then if you don't get there today, definitely make sure that you're on Tuesday. Because if all of us come together with our independent brothers and sisters and our Republican brothers and sisters that are actually showing incredible courage to step up and say, I'm doing something different, we can win it. And you're right. The whole world will be talking about this. And when I say the whole world, it's newspapers from Germany, newspapers from France, newspapers from all over the world has been calling me because they're interested in what we're doing here.
And that's largely because it's a few things, but we got to highlight what I think they really are. And let me just say this: you're listening to Chew's Views on WCPT AM 820 in Chicago and WARR 1520 AM and 103.5 FM from Warren County, North Carolina. I'm Richard Chew. We're talking with Shawn Harris, candidate for Congress in Georgia. And Shawn, those connections or those outreaches to you are largely because of what people have seen that have been we can't keep doing this anymore. The sort of vote against part of this conversation. And that's a reality. That's a part of it. We can't say that it's just vote for or just vote against. It's both. But the other side of it is the vote for. It's a person like you who represents so many different categories of our society. And I think that the fact that people know that there needs to be this kind of change is a big part. So that's a lot to say. That's a lot about you, and it's saying a lot about you and you as a person, and not even as a candidate, but just you as a person. So the shout outs to you on that are strong, but you also understand the importance of policy and good policy for the citizens that are there in the district. So I'm excited about all of those things that are coming your way. I got to ask you this. It's kind of a personal, but it's a candidate's question. Did I hear correctly that, and maybe you can't say this, but you've had to wear a bulletproof vest when you've been on certain parts of the campaign? Or was that made up? Help us out here.
No, that's not made up at all. But the reality of it is, that's how we know that we're winning. If we wasn't doing some things right, some of the same crazies that have been threatening Marjorie Taylor Greene, some of those same people now are starting to threaten me. Wow. But guess what, Richard? That's why I ask people to pray for us. But guess what? I'm not cocky. I'm not Denzel Washington. I'm not no superhero. But one thing I do know, I spend a lot of time in combat. I'm comfortable wearing a vest. And so when you see me out at named events, go back and look at the video that is all on CNN and everywhere else. But go back and look at the video. I've actually said to my people in the district, hey, I'm still running every day. I'm still exercising every day. But when I have the vest on, I look a little bit bigger. And so that's how you know when I got the vest on. But that's why I say, Richard, courage is contagious.
Yeah.
People making these threats to try to make me quit, and they're trying to suppress the vote of the people. And I think that's why, because here in the district, the people in the district know we're dealing with foolishness. I almost said stronger words. That we're dealing with foolishness. And they see me at the Tractor Supply. They see me at Walmart. They see me at the local coffee shop. They know the real Shawn Harris, not some video guy. They know the real Shawn Harris. And they know, and they have read the newspapers locally that says, hey, Don's starting to get some threats. He's not going to have to wear a bulletproof vest. And I'm still out doing the things that we need to be doing, because what we're doing is bigger than me. I look at it no different than when I was in the military. I'm just part of the team. I'm just part of the team. You have to stay humble, stay prayed up. But in the flip side of the coin, no one, I don't care where they walk on the face of the earth, is going to make me back down. So they can continue to call. They can continue to send little tweets. They can continue to do all those kind of things. Our police departments throughout our entire area, all 10 districts, are working with us so that when I go to a named event, they actually have police there. They're doing an awesome job. And at the end of the day, just like the good Lord blessed me to get through Afghanistan in 2000, 2007, 2008, the good Lord's going to bless me to get through this, and we're going to go to Congress. And some of those same people that threaten me, guess what? They're going to say, man, I really like that Shawn Harris, because he actually brought some jobs here. And y'all better leave him alone. So that's how you win it, because some of the same people that will threaten you, but when they see your ability to lead and bring great things to the district, they will go to Grandma and say, you know what, Grandma, I was wrong. This guy didn't just talk about it. He actually did the hard work to make sure that we're going to be okay. And that's the difference between me, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and all the rest of these people I'm running against, because everybody that I'm running against, the first thing you hear come out of their mouth, they say, I'm going to D.C. to help Donald Trump. Guess what? When they tell you that, they're telling you that you're not even in the damn car. Yeah. When I say I'm going to D.C. to work for the hard-working people in Northwest Georgia, I don't care if you're a Democrat, I don't care if you're independent, I don't care if you're a Republican. If you live here in Northwest Georgia, that is the lens that I'm looking through, and that's how I'm going to vote, because too many times the small communities are left out. And that's why this farm bill that just came out last night, is 802 pages. Marjorie Taylor Greene never read a damn thing. Shawn Harris is going to read all 802 pages and make sure that I start talking to our representatives before I even get there to ensure that we're taking care of our farmers right here in the district, because our Northwest Georgia is based on agriculture 100%.
Yeah, you know, Shawn, that allies and team, being a part of a team is so important. I wouldn't be able to do my show were it not for the team that we have here. So I completely understand that. And I applaud you for giving the shout outs to the people there, and certainly law enforcement that recognizes that they've got to step up given the importance and the reality of this race and some of the things that come along with it as it relates to some of the threats. So I appreciate you really kind of bringing down and focusing on what the importance of team. You're going to be joining a new team if you win this election, a new team of folks in Congress that have not gotten a lot of things done in terms of certainly what the Republicans have not done. And to a great extent, many Democrats need to be doing a little bit more. And I'm excited that you're going to bring this energy. And I'm going to ask you this question because I ask it of everybody. I've asked it of you before. Do you feel that, given that you win this race and you're now a member of Congress, that you're going to be able to hit the ground running and not be kind of put off as one of the freshman congressmen?
No, I will hit the ground running. We are already looking at and writing policy that is what is best for the people here in Northwest Georgia. And like I talked about, those 10 town halls, part of that was to have a discussion, but the other piece was to listen. And from that's why we're already working on our PFAS, forever chemicals, trying to make sure we got a handle on that, because guess what? It runs from Dalton, Georgia, all the way through Rome and then beyond. It has great effect on us here in the district. We also looking at how can we bring down the cost, health care, mental health, all those things. We're already putting those positives together so when we hit the ground. Because when I get to D.C., yeah, I've never been a congressman before, but it's not my first day going to Congress. So I don't need somebody to give me a class on how to get around the building. I done already went up there and briefed everybody in other capacities. So we're not hitting the ground as a brand new freshman. We're hitting the ground ready to go to work. And when I build my team to go with me to D.C., I want your audience to know this. I would have Democrats on my team. I would have independents on my team. And, yes, I would have Republicans on my team, because I want to make sure that when our policies come out and go through the process, the policy was written for what was best for the people here in Northwest Georgia, because we're representing everybody. And I would tell you, usually I don't talk about General Harris because that cat's retired and he's old now. But I always, when I pick my team, my staff, I pick people that had backbone to push back on my ideas. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm taking to Washington, D.C. with me. I don't want a whole bunch of yes men and yes women. I want people going to say, hey, sir, this is good, but let's look through it through this lens. How can we make it better for everybody here? And I think that's what's going to be going to see the difference in me versus somebody else. And we'll get there, and you hear me talk about courage is contagious. I think we have some Democrats that need to get a backbone. I said it. We need something to need to get a backbone. You either stand on it or you don't. You can't fade when you get right there at the brief. So I would tell you, you know how they do those peer evaluation things?
Yeah.
I may not get all the best scores. I may not.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what I will get, my colleagues will say, you know what? That Shawn Harris, when he tells you something, you can stand on it. And when he says he's going to get it done, he's going to get it done. And, oh, by the way, when it comes to the rural community, what he represents, he's not going to get on the plane and say, well, we can talk about it next week. No, hell, we're not going to talk about it next week, because we're going to talk about it this week, because we may be in a war next week.
Yeah.
And as you can see, here we are in the middle of a war right now. So that's sucking up a lot of the energy that's happening up in Congress. And at the end of the day, the economy is getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. Shawn, take us home with how folks can follow you, how they can still be a participant in this race before the election day next Tuesday.
Yep. They just go to my website, ShawnForGeorgia.com. Go there. If you want to give us some money, thank you. But the key thing I need everybody to do is to go to that website, go to the bottom, and you're going to see you can either email Renee or you can email Shelley Shelley handles all of my volunteers. We have people from states all over the country calling people right now saying, please get up, go vote.
Yeah.
That's what you can do for us today and Tuesday. Call them or fly in here, go knock on doors. Let me just tell you this, Richard, real quick, because I thought this was the coolest story I heard yesterday. Some lady, I hadn't met her yet. I'm going to try to meet her here today or tomorrow. But some lady flew in from a state, I don't remember what state, flew to Atlanta, Georgia, came out the airport, rented a car, and called us and said, I'm here. I had a week off, and instead of going on vacation, I came down to this place called Northwest Georgia because I saw this Shawn Harris on a video, and I'm coming to help him. Give me a list, and she's out there knocking on doors right now, every day, and that's what I'm asking people from all over the nation to do. If you can't get here, please get in touch with my team because you can make that phone call from anywhere, and I think as more and more people in our district hear that, wait a minute, somebody's calling me from Iowa? Somebody's calling me from Florida? And the only thing I got to do is drive 2 miles to go vote. Let me get up and go vote because guess what? Put all the hands on the plow, we can win this thing. So, again, Richard, thank you. Every time I talk to you, man, you the only person that make me get excited. So thank you for that.
Shawn, I love that we have been able to be supportive of your team. Stay strong these next few days, and I can't wait till we get the results in. Shawn Harris for Georgia, y'all. Have a great weekend, Shawn, and stay safe. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
All right, bye now. What can I say, guys? You can listen to us on all of our socials. Facebook, YouTube is how you can, if you're listening live, you can video stream us on all our podcasts. Grab them, share them, make sure people have an opportunity to check them out. Stay tuned for the Stephanie Miller Show. And as always, take a deep breath and make your life count. We will see you next week.
Who is Kevin Ryan? Hey, that's me. I'm a Chicago public school teacher, union member, and Marine Corps veteran. Most importantly, I am a New Deal Democrat from a new generation, and I am running for the United States Senate to make our government work for all of us, not just the 1%. Now, you might not have heard of me because, well, I am just like you. I don't have millions of dollars to spend on TV ads, I'm not backed by a billionaire, and I've been excluded from the debates because I refuse to raise millions of dollars from the 1%. Instead, I am backed by ordinary people like you. I'm the only candidate to campaign in all 102 counties in my campaign school bus, and we fund our campaign by simply passing a hat around. So we thought we'd spend some of that money to introduce our campaign to you on WCPT radio. If you want to send a real progressive to the United States Senate and not another bought and paid for Democrat, go to kevinryan.com. Spread the word and vote for the candidate endorsed by Illinois progressives. My name is Kevin Ryan. I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I approve this message. Paid for by people of Illinois and Kevin Ryan.
Stephanie Miller here. If eating is stressing you out, you're not alone. There's so much confusion around food. One day something's good for you, the next day it's not. No wonder digestion can feel chaotic. What I learned from the Tummy Whisperer is reassuring your body isn't broken, it's communicating. It needs proper guidance. That's why I trust Renee Barish at Digestive Health Solutions as a certified digestive health specialist. Renee works one-to-one, helping people make sense of their symptoms without extremes or overwhelming them. If you've changed your diet and feel the same or worse, if bloating, reflux, constipation, diarrhea, and low energy are running your life, Renee will help you connect the dots. Digestion will calm down, food can feel easy again, and you don't have to figure it all out alone. You've got the Tummy Whisperer. Learn more at thetummywhisperer.com or call Renee at 847-207-2034. One more time, that's 847-207-2034. Let's get you feeling better.
Staples has hot deals and low prices on everything for your business, like up to $125 off your print order. Ends April 18th. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
AP News, I'm Marcela Sanchez. President Trump says he wants to be involved in picking Iran's next leader. He told Axios yesterday. Trump called Mojtaba Khamenei, a son of the late Supreme Leader who is a possible candidate for the post, quote, unacceptable and, quote, a lightweight. Meanwhile, Wall Street is on track to open lower again as oil prices continue to climb. This comes less than a week since the U.S. and Israel began bombing Iran, one of the world's top oil producers. Several states are taking legal action over Trump's recent tariffs, AP correspondent Mike Hempen reports.
24 states are suing over new global tariffs President Trump imposed following his Supreme Court loss. Democratic attorneys general from Oregon, Arizona, California, and New York are leading the lawsuit. They argue the president has overstepped his power with planned 15% tariffs on much of the world. Trump has said the tariffs are essential to address trade deficits. He imposed duties under Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974 after the Supreme Court struck down tariffs he imposed last year. The lawsuit argues the 1974 law was intended to be used only in specific situations. Mike Hempen, Washington.
Members of the public got a chance to speak their minds yesterday to a federal panel reviewing Trump's ballroom. They've described it as ugly and grossly out of scale. Others characterize the project as an invitation for corruption, because Trump has said he'll pay for it with money donated by rich people and corporations, some of which do business with the federal government. A few people suggested to the National Capital Planning Commission that the Republican president build the ballroom underground if he wants one so badly. The commissioners on the panel showed little sign that their approval process could be delayed. A final vote is set for April 2nd. This is AP News.
AP Sports, I'm Gethin Cool Ball. Victor Wembanyama's 38 points, 16 rebounds, and 5 blocks powered the Spurs past the Pistons 121-106 in a clash of top NBA contenders.
Any game between top seeds should be impressive. For us, it was super fun, and it wouldn't have been fun if we didn't set the tone to the game.
Lakers star LeBron James surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the NBA's all-time leader in career field goals in Denver. Trae Young had 12 points and 6 assists in his Wizards debut against Utah. In golf, Daniel Berger shot 63 to build a 3-shot lead at Bay Hill in the Arnold Palmer Invitational. NHL, the league-leading Avalanche acquired center Nicholas Waugh from the Maple Leafs, and the Golden Knights got center Nick Dowd from the Capitals ahead of Friday's trade deadline. And NFL, the Bills are getting receiver DJ Moore in a trade with the Bears.
I'm Marcela Sanchez, AP News.
This is 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and streaming worldwide at WCPT820.com. We are Chicago's progressive talk, where facts matter. Now, your WCPT 820 weather update.
From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Michael Caro. For today, we'll have dense fog to start, otherwise showers and storms becoming likely today, high temperatures approaching 70. For tonight, more periods of showers and storms, a low of 61. For Saturday, a lingering chance for some showers and thunder showers through midday, and then drying things out into the afternoon, early day highs in the low 60s, falling into the 50s in the afternoon. And that's your latest Chicago weather update. Right now, it's 48.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
Hi, I'm LaShawn K. Ford, and I'm running for Congress because I see what's happening in our communities every day. I see young people struggling to find opportunity. I see seniors working harder just to make ends meet, and I see families feeling squeezed by rising costs while Washington stays distracted. This Trump administration has brought chaos and corruption instead of real solutions. We need leadership that listens and delivers. As a state legislator, I've spent years fighting for working families, seniors, and communities that too often get left behind. That record is why I'm endorsed by Congressman Danny K. Davis, former U.S. Senator Roland Burst, former Congressman Bobby Rush, former Secretary of State Jesse White, and the Speaker of the Illinois House, Chris Welch. Make your plan to vote, and on your ballot, punch 31, paid for by LaShawn K. Ford for Congress.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
You're listening to WCPT 820 because facts matter.
That said, Trump just watched Avengers. What the hell is that?
Jared Moskowitz said that. We have that.
Dear God, what did Dana Goldberg say on this show yesterday? If Kristi Noem gets fired, someone worse will get put in as her fear. Mark Wayne Mullen.
Former MMA fighter.
Ricky Bobby.
Former MMA fighter.
What's his last name?
Mark Wayne Mullen.
Colby Carrington, Mark Wayne. Yes, Mullen. He's the guy that threatened to get in a fist fight with the Teamsters,
right.
Which, first of all, how dumb is that? To get in a fight with the head of the Teamsters. But second...
Someone on Thread said he can't even secure the border between his two first names.
That's funny. I think I printed that. That was funny.
Oh,
it's true.
okay. Yeah.
Entirely too many names, like most serial killers.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Wow. And how about those new Epstein files, everybody?
Oh.
This is when, if you're plugged in on social media. I read this from Threads on the show a week or two ago, but I guess now it's official
because it came from the DOJ this time.
But oh my God,
it's horrifying.
Yes, and even you said, "Oh, this is why he launched the attack on Iran."